Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So today we'll be starting the first chapter. So yesterday, of course, we had a very quick, basically yesterday what we were doing is all administrative work, right? So today we'll start off. And before that, does anyone know the name of the first chapter? I have this habit of asking questions. So does anyone know the name of the first chapter? I mean, you can try if you know. It's okay to be wrong. Okay, no problem.
Arjuna's Vishada
Yoga.
Yes, very nice. Thank you so much. And what is the what is it called? What is the meaning of that? Or do you know the English word? Because the English word has the meaning completely. So first chapter, what are we actually going to discuss? Any idea about what we are going to talk? So
confusions.
Sorry, what did you say? You're right, actually, I couldn't hear. Yeah, so it is about the battlefield, right? So every time I always begin the class with the set, right? So when we plan something, we always have this concept of, getting ready, right? So when, let's say we're going for a movie, or let's say we're going on a holiday, Arjuna's sorrows, yeah, that's also nice. So we always have this homework, right? We prepare what we have to do, how we should get ready, what are all the things we should take. So now the mood which you have to be is like all of you all go to the battlefield, right? So set your mood in the battlefield. So this is about how you can, you will work in the battlefield, right? So all of us are in the battlefield and we are watching this, right? So that should be your mood. And before I start off with the class, I'll start off with Mangalacharan. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanattimrandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpadarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Come on, all of you join. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Come on, all of you can unmute. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, with many answers. Abhi has messaged Arjuna's confusion. Priyadarshini has messaged Arjuna's sorrows. Bishat Yoga. Okay, again, Abhi. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So let's see what is it called. So, of course, this is the entire 18-day. So specifically, before we go, let's pay our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. We already saw about him, and yesterday we saw how he went by in Jaladuta, right? And how many places he covered. And let's pay our obeisances to Shri Radha Govinda. These are our deities of Mangaluru, ISKCON. We saw Parampara succession, right? Just a quick update of the introduction. And why is Parampara required? Because Krishna speaks to Brahma, and we would like to hear what Krishna wants to say, right? So we are all coming in the same family to hear, right? So we want Krishna's words verbatim as it is. That is why Bhagavad Gita is called as it is. Gita is a very vast book, right? So a systematic study will take at least a year. So our Bhakti Shastri, we have just covered 12 chapters and it's over 6 months. So you can imagine. So 18 days is just going to be a glimpse of it. And we are going to focus on the flow of thoughts between Krishna and Arjuna, right? So what is the objective of your level 1? Just to prepare for a deeper study, right? To understand. So now before we get into it, I'm just repeating a few important things before I get here. Arjuna's bewilderment, right? So what happened? Why Arjuna is bewildered? So Arjuna's bewilderment and appearance of illusion must be understood to be Krishna's arrangement. So this is a base. Now, such a important, very powerful guy is Arjuna, right? So why is he confused? Why is he bewildered? Everything is Krishna's arrangement. So basically, if not for Arjuna's confusion, what will happen? These questions won't come up, right? And if these questions don't come, we will not have answers. We will not have Bhagavad Gita at all. So this Bhagavad Gita is not exclusive for Krishna and Arjuna. It is for us. What is happening? We already saw, right? Senayor Ubayor Masjids. Basically, please drive the chariot right in the middle. So remember, I told you all, set the mood as the battlefield. So we are all there in the battlefield. And this is the mood. And we are all going to be sitting there and, or rather standing and watching the war. So are you all ready? Are you ready? Are you all in the battlefield? Is your mood there? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna. So we also saw this that the Upanishads are like the cow and the milker is Krishna, right? He's milking the cow, who is none other than the son of Nanda, and Arjuna is a calf. And he is enjoying this milk, right? And the devotees, right? So all of us are going to drink and relish this. So Arjuna's yoga of lamentation. So someone very beautifully said, right? So Arjuna's yoga, and it is also called observing the battles. So let's go ahead and see who each character are. Now, starting with this character. Who is this gentleman, but not so gentle? He, on the top left. Who is he? Top left. Absolutely, Dhritarashtra. Oh, acha, thanks, Abhi and Jeet. Okay, message. And who's in the middle?
Arjuna.
Exactly. So the middle one is Arjuna. And who's at the bottom?
Duryodhan.
That's right. So he is in the bottom. So Duryodhan is in the bottom. So you can imagine how the face is, right? Dhritarashtra is burning up in tension. The Arjuna is stressed, more sad. And Duryodhan is like all charged up. Oh my God, what's going to happen, right? So we see different reactions in the same scene, right? So this is one point which many of us tell, right? Why all these things happen? Why teacher is scolding me? Teacher keeps scolding all of us, right? But each of us behave differently. So this is the first thing. I would want, some of you all to start raising your hands, at least one person to start with, because you can read the English text and I'll do the Sanskrit. Hare Krishna. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samavedata yutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. Hare Krishna. So basically, what is he meaning, right? The first thing is, Kim means what? I'm coming ulta, last line. Kim means what are they doing in the battlefield? So he's asking Sanjaya. So let's go one by one. Who's Sanjaya? Sanjaya is the personal, is a person who, it's like a personal secretary of Dhritarashtra. He has got...
Yes, so guided. Dhritarashtra was like blind and he was given the vision by...
Yes. Very thank you so much. Yes,
he's
he's got
Vyasadeva. Everything.
Vyasadeva.
In the battlefield.
Yeah. So he's got this Divya Drishti by Vyasa, and Vyasa is none other than incarnation of Krishna. And Vyasa is the one who wrote Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavad. A lot more he wrote, but for now, Bhagavad Gita was written by him. So this particular entire warfield is noticed by two. One is obviously Arjuna is watching everything. I'm talking about all this discussion, right? Vishwarupa and all will come as to who's watching. So I'll bring that point then. But right now, what are the questions, right? So he's asking Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. Why is it called Dharma Kshetra? Because it's a Kuru dynasty. It's called the Kuru dynasty, right? So that is the place. And it's called Dharma Kshetra because it's a place which is supposed to be very, where a lot of Vedas, everything is so pure, a lot of austerities, everything has taken place here. So Yutsavaha means, what field, right? So Mamaka Pandava Cheva actually is talking about my, Mamaka means my sons and Pandava sons. So technically, this is like, Dharma Kshetra is very pure, like milk. Mamaka is referring to his children and Pandava. So technically all are Kurus, right? Two brothers. So if we have a family name, my dad's brother's children will also have the same family name, right? Talking about at least pre-marriage. But he is differentiating by calling him as his children and Pandava. So how would you or your dad behave when his brother's children come? Will they treat him like, some person from the street, or will they treat like family? Or let's say you, how will you treat if your younger cousin brother or cousin sister comes? Will you treat like, of course we may feel they are a headache, that's a different story. But will you treat them as family, or will you just treat them like some person in the street?
You treat them
as family, right? That's right. So because they are part of the family. But imagine in this case, it's even, so many messages. Abhi, okay, thank you so much. So yes, here, what is he doing? Forget about treating like a family, even treating them equal. This is a special case, right? For us, at least we are in Kali Yuga and all of them are guests. But in this case, they are more than family. Why? Because the brother is dead and he's supposed to be the caretaker. He's supposed to be the legitimate guardian, but he is dividing them. And on top of it, he's asking, what's happening? Because he's concerned that it's Dharma Kshetra. And is there a possibility that the war didn't happen and something else changed in the mind? Right? So now, come on, who's going to read? And you can start reading. It's in the screen. So every time I tell Hare Krishna, after chanting, you all can start reading. You don't need my permission. Yeah, please go ahead and read. I'm waiting. One of you all can read.
Right?
Yeah, please go ahead. Thank you. Yes. So you two of you all are reading. Alternate, you all can read. No problem. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, the first one reading. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupad.
Yeah, thank you so much. So he's very clearly saying, can anyone guess before I talk? You know he's Duryodhana, so I'm not going to ask that. Who's he talking to?
Dronacharya.
Oh, amazing. The first time I'm hearing. Many of them give different versions. Yes, he's talking to Dronacharya. Dronacharya is Acharya. So normally, what do you mean? What do you tell to an Acharya? You go and seek blessings, right? So when you're going for an exam to the teacher, you'll go and you'll wait for them to tell all the best, right? But look at him. He is provoking him because he's going to fight. And he is telling, who's taking care. So basically, in the army, you have commander-in-chief and son of Drupada. So there is a story behind this Drupada. Drupada and Dronacharya are childhood classmates, buddies, right? Friends. So what happened is Drupada had promised Dronacharya that he would give his kingdom, half his kingdom. And Dronacharya grows up and he goes and claims. Now, Drupada gets very angry and he says, I don't want to be associated with these kind of people. Then finally, Dronacharya is very upset. He says, it's okay, it's not about the kingdom, but at least for the friendship. He doesn't even respect him as a friend. So they get into a big fight. And after that, he takes a challenge that he will win over the kingdom, which he does. Initially, the Kauravas go, that is the 100 sons go, and they fail. And then Arjuna goes and obviously the Pandavas, and they win over the kingdom. At that time, he says he thinks he has one daughter. Does anyone know the name of the daughter of Drupada's son? Sorry, Drupada's daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
He had actually two daughters, Shikhandi, and then he asked for Draupadi.
Draupadi, perfect. And name of the son?
Drishtadumna.
Amazing. Yes. So very good. So I never knew so much. I can tell you for sure. 1.5 years back, maybe Draupadi I would know. I would definitely not know these names. So I'm so happy. So what are we talking about? So we're talking about Draupadi's children, right? His children. So Drishtadumna and Draupadi are twins born together, but I'll come to that story. Sikandi could not win, so he wanted to beget a son, and with an intent that the son will kill Dronacharya. So he goes, and it's not like today, right? Today we will do secret. Oh, we will have him, we will smash him. No, it's all open. It's like everybody knows. So he begets a son, and in that same fire, Draupadi also comes. So his name is Drishtadumna. Now Dushadimna needs to learn, right? So it's not easy. So he is sent to Dronacharya to learn the art of war. Now he is sent there, and can you imagine? He is teaching the Dushadimna all the war techniques, and he knows that this is going to be used to kill him. Right? In spite of that, he teaches. So that's the point. Right? So he's very special, right? So can you imagine? So that's a speciality of Acharya. He is bound to teach. So can you see his face, Duryodhana's face? So these are real expressions. So I can give you a close-up. Beyond this, it's Keras. So I'll go to the next slide. Hare Krishna. So after I chant, yes, you all can read 1.19. Sagoshodartha Rashtrana Hridayani Vyadarayat Nabascha Prithvim Chaiva Tumulobhyanunadayan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, and thus vibrating both in skies and the earth, it shattered the heart of the sons of Dhritarashtra.
So this is a conch shell, right? So sound vibration. So what is very important, all of us have come to this class because of some vibration, right? Like someone would have told us, we would have seen, or someone would have told us when we were very small that Bhagavad Gita is very nice. Somewhere we would have heard, right? So sound vibration is very important. In South also, when we had British rule, I'm sure there'll be in North, but I'm just telling South because I'm from South. You know, there used to be someone by name Bharatiyar. I don't know if you all know him, but at least you would have heard of him. He never used to pick a fight. He never used to go on war, but he used to just sing poetry. And the poetry used to be so powerful that it used to really get them up. You know, it used to really make people very aggressive and provoked. So he was arrested. So the sound vibration is very important. So Hridayani Vyadara means what? It makes, it really shattered the hearts. How? So basically when, you know, the Kurus actually did all these fights or made a noise, nothing happened. They had no impact. But when the Pandavas actually blew the conch shell, it was so strong that the other side, they were so scared. Right, they were so scared that you know, it shattered the hearts of the sons. Right, so it like really. So this is the picture, so beautiful, right? So you can see our two heroes here. So now this chapter is so beautiful and so small in the sense we are not covering everything. So let's see what are all the reasons why they could win. So I'm going. So I'll just quickly tell you all. So tomorrow I'll ask you questions. Dharmakshetra, the place itself is very special. So that is one. The divine chariot, the chariot is given to Arjuna by fire god. And the speciality of the chariot is it can move in any direction, right? 365 degrees. So Kapitwaja is the flag here. Can you see the flag, the orange flag? Can anyone tell me who's sitting in this flag?
That's Hanumanji over there.
Hanuman.
Yes, Hanuman. So you all know that how powerful it is, right? So it's not easy to even, you know, make the chariot fall. It's unshakable. So that's the power. And Shankananda is the conch shell. We already saw it blue and it made them bleed. Gandiva is the what do you call, the bow and arrow which Arjuna is using is called Gandiva. It is so special that he says that forget, even if someone scolds me, I'm okay. But if someone is going to talk bad about Gandiva, I will kill the person immediately. That's the kind of mood which he has said. Pashupastra is like there was a fight between Arjuna and Shiva, and Lord Shiva was admired by his bravery and he gifted that. Takta Jivita. Okay, this is called, like many times we tell, right? Even elders tell, don't talk negative. Why? Because it's Takta Jivita. What do you mean by Takta Jivita? Is a statement passed by Duryodhana where he says, these people are ready to die for me. Right? So that means he is so clear that they are all going to die. So in his conversation of pride also there is a bit of pessimism. So that is so, it's mentioned. Moksha, the Ekadasi. Ekadasi is very special. And what is special about this day is, so that day it was an Ekadasi day and, you know, it was a day which means that everything was so favorable for those who are on the side of Krishna. And Bhagya Lakshmi, right, where there is Krishna, there is fortune. And obviously Lakshmi was also there. And Rishikesha, last but not the least, standard dialogue is Krishna is there. Right? So these are the reasons why, you know, we know for sure that who will fight. So now what is happening? So as usual we saw, Senior Ubiyor Madhya, he went and kept that, and therefore in 1.28, before that itself, 1.26, Arjuna, Krishna is telling, behold, right? Say, don't do this. Don't let your mind run. Even our subconscious many times tells, right? Don't do this. Don't do this, Radhika. But we don't hear. We just don't bother. We will just do what we want. Right? Likewise, he still went and got Krishna to place the chariot. So after that, he was started feeling compassion. Oh my God, these are my people. All the soldiers will die. What will happen to the families? So in 1.28, then he says, no enjoyment. What if I win? And after I win, everybody's going to die. What do I get out of it? Nothing. Imagine everybody is dead, and whom do I enjoy with? So if you know the first thing, whom do you share your most happy news with first? What do you do if you get a happy news, right? Your first rank, or you got your first college, what you want, or you do it, whom do you share with?
Mother.
Family.
Right? So somebody who is close to us. So imagine suppose you are in an island, and I tell you, okay, I'm going to give you a beautiful house, beautiful bangla, beautiful everything, but you'll have no people association. Will you like it? Maybe for 1 day, 2 days, but will you still like it forever, eternally?
No, man.
Right? So that is the no enjoyment concept. Sin. Bhagavad Gita 1.36. Sin, he sings, oh my God, killing your own, like Bhishma or Dronacharya is teacher. Bhishma is like, grandfather, right? So all of them, killing them. Is that right? Is killing them, isn't it sinful? So he's scared. And family tradition. He's worried now. Oh my God, my family tradition is lost. How will it be lost? See, normally, if you see, or most of you all said you're fan clubs of mothers. So am I. So what happens is, most of the time, anything we do in the house, right? Puja or anything in the house is normally we don't refer a book. We look up and we learn from the elders, right? So if I have to do this puja, or if I have to do this, it's all from there. So it's a family tradition. So if the elders are lost, right? If they are dead in the war field, who's going to keep up the family tradition? Who will be there to tell us? So that was this thing. And 4 reasons come up in the first chapter. So I repeat: compassion, no enjoyment, sin, and family tradition. And one more is indecision, which is 2.6. With all this, in the second chapter, he decides, oh, I don't know what I should do. Should I fight or not fight? Right? And I want you all to write in the chat, what do you relate to? Okay, so I'll tell you what I relate to, but you all can also tell what you relate to. Compassion, what do you relate, right? So because we're all in the war field, so what do you relate? Compassion, no enjoyment, sin, family tradition, indecision. Mine is more of an indecision. I would be confused, but you don't have to be with me. You all can have your own choice. So out of the 5, so what would be your situation? What will be going through? Oh, I'm sorry, my voice is breaking because Chennai, there is rain and there is a lot of disturbance here. I'm sorry about it. So which one do you relate to? You can start typing in chat. Two, okay. No enjoyment. No enjoyment, okay. Indecision, okay. A lot of indecision. Did I influence your decision by telling my answer first? Abhi is indecision in the Vaishnavi, Janil. Mostly all of them really, okay, very nice. Indecision, Rahul, oh my God. So, okay, so majority are on 5 and 2. Okay, no enjoyment, yes. No enjoyment. Nobody feels sinful. Nobody feels compassionate. Oh my God, so many soldiers will die. No compassion here. No heart. Soft-heartedness. No one in our team.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of sin?
What is the meaning of?
Sin, S-I-N.
Sin. Sin is,
Yes.
you feel, okay, Abhi, I finally have told compassion. Okay.
It's like pap.
So, pap. Sin is papam.
Okay.
Right? You make, you kill someone, it's sinful, right? You do harm to someone, it's pap. That's the thing. Compassion means, you feel bad, sorrow, sad. You feel very painful. You are able to relate, right? You see somebody, you see a small child, or forget it, you're going to school. You have a similar aged boy who is outside your car asking, begging. You feel that little uneasiness, right? Hey, look at this boy, he's struggling. Do you feel, hey, wow, he's on the street and I'm in the car? You feel that, or you feel, oh my God, poor guy, he's in the car, he's in the street. How do you feel, all of you? Hey, I have a car and that fellow is begging. Do you feel like that? Or, oh my God, unfortunate that in so much rain or so much thing, he's still begging, right? So that's the thing. Compassion, okay. So sin, indecision, compassion, I would go with all of them. So I want to ask all of you all one thing. Whatever Arjuna is feeling, right, and his decision that, he feels that one of the reasons, right, in fact, all the reasons he feels, is it correct or wrong? I mean, he's feeling so compassionate. He's feeling there's no enjoyment. He feels it's sinful and family traditions are going, it's indecisive. So is it right the way he's feeling? And he doesn't, he's very confused about whether he should fight or not. Is he right or is he wrong?
Right, ma'am.
Right,
As
right.
a human being, he is right. Because we usually, it takes a lot of time. Like there are very less number of people who can get over the word what we say as Maya and Moh and
True.
the Moh and everything. So as a human being, he is right, of course, like the first part of the Gita.
Yeah. So I feel, even I felt the same, and I still feel, he's like so compassionate, right? So he may be strong, that is different, but he's still compassionate. That's what is required for a human being, right? Humanity. Thank you so much. So that's so perfect. We are all souls and not our bodies, but this concerns are valid. Vaishnavi, Vaishnavi, are you the same Vaishnavi from the previous batch? Is there anybody from the previous batch repeating? Some of the names are familiar, but names are also familiar. Anyone repeating from the previous? I mean, you're most welcome. I'll be more than happy, but I just wanted to know. Okay. So what is happening is, so all this is disturbing him, right? He is so confused. He's so disturbed. And with all this, he is stuck. It seems very right? So it's anyone, if we are all in his place, we agree, at least one of that 5 we relate. Now Arjuna has got all 5. So naturally he puts his Gandiva down and starts crying, and he's very upset and decides not to fight. Now this is like suspense, right? So in the war field we are there, and this is what is happening. So the heading is observing the armies on the battlefield. So Dhritarashtra is saying Kima Kurvata. So what are they doing in the battlefield? Right? This is like typical bathroom. People will knock you at the bathroom and ask you, right? Many times it happens. What are you doing inside? Are bathroom ka andar, what will we do? Yeah? So have you noticed? Happens, right? Most of the time there is a knock and telling, what are you doing? Yes or no? Or happens only in my house? Here you all are from a different world. I am from a different world. Okay, now I'm moving to Dhritarashtra's sphere. 1.2. Mahatim Cham Mum Vyudhyam, right? So what happens? He gets scared and he is trying to cover that up. And blowing of conch shells really shatter the hearts. 12 to 19. Hridayani Vyadaraya. And Arjuna's observation is Gandiva is like literally slipping. And finally, Arjuna gives her reason. Apratikaram Ashastram, right? So he is telling why he should, or right, he won't be able to fight. So with this, the first chapter comes to an end, and the story continues in the second chapter, and it's the most important chapter. Tomorrow, in fact, I'll log in 5 minutes early. And before that, you can ask your doubts. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanan pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. Sorry if there is a challenge. I can do 2 things. One is I will upload this video, or I will also upload the video of the previous batch which I had taken, the first chapter, right? So that you'll have you can go back and hear the audio should be clear in that.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, sure. And we will share the link. Yes, all of that. So is there any doubts? Were you able to attempt the quizzes? I'm sure you would have not tried the quizzes, but were you able to attempt the quizzes? Any challenge, any doubt in this particular chapter? If you all don't have doubts, then I have 2 options. Should I do the bridge presentation where I can do SQ, IQ, or do you want me to do tell you a story? What would you prefer? A bridge course, or you want me to tell a story?
Tell a story.
Tell a story? Okay, fine. Whose story you want? Arjuna's story? Okay, now I want to ask you a question. So I'm going to start with a question and I will tell you a story. What is SQ is IQ, you know, no? Story, okay. So we couple of things. We have a presentation, we have a story. So these presentation I was telling you, mind control, spirituality, science and spirituality, those kind of presentations is what I was talking about. IQ is all like you know how you have all these quotients, right? IQ means intelligence quotient, SQ is spiritual quotient, EQ is emotional quotient, which is good. Okay, some are asking for presentation, so I'll try and see if I can make it fast, and I'll try and see if I can cover both. So now I will start with the story. I'll take at least 5-6 minutes on the story. So anybody in this room feels that Krishna should have spoken to somebody else other than Arjuna? Anybody feels like that? Or do you feel Arjuna is correct person for him to tell this? Does anyone feel? No. Okay. So anyone feels that there is a better person than Arjuna whom he should have told? Maybe I'll rephrase my question. And if you feel there is a better person, please name the person.
Ma'am, please repeat the question.
Ma'am, repeat the question. Do not understand.
Actually,
okay.
your voice is breaking.
Sure. Anybody feels that Arjuna is the right person for Krishna to have told Bhagavad Gita? Or do you feel any other person is better?
Bhishma could have been a good option, I guess. Reason being, Bhishma was also covered with like Moh and Maya of his family, and he wanted to protect his relations with his father, and then with his stepmother, and then with his family, and he wanted to, like, he could have he could have done the part that he would have been a king there of the place. I mean, he would have ruled the kingdom, he would have had all the controls and everything, so he could have stopped the war at that point of time. So I actually think that Bhishma had that power, but he didn't had that audacity, I would say, or maybe he didn't had that like, he was all covered with Moh and Maya of his family and protecting and everything, so he just abandoned the what we say as the position, and he wanted to be a kind of a helper or a protector of the crown.
That's a very nice thinking, Molly. Thank you so much. Yes.
Mataji, I guess like Arjuna was the right person, because anyway he was in confusion, but Krishna just want to tell this message to all over the Yug, and I guess not just about with Arjun, but I guess it was for us and for every human being to be, get rid of the message later.
Exactly. So both are right. So the first point which she was saying is, yes, Bhishma is the right person, but he was already confused, right? He had taken a promise and he wanted to stick to the promise. Now, second thing is Arjuna. Yes, Arjuna. But the point is Arjuna is correct choice, right? Priyadarshini Mataji is saying that, yes, Arjuna is there. Bhishma had taken a lot. Okay. But Bhishma is also a very good guy, but we will see. He vowed to kill. Yeah, correct. So end of the day, do you feel anybody else? Like one she was telling is Bhishma. So do you have any other names which come to a head?
Ma'am, Karna.
You're right that he chose Arjuna to speak to us. He could have chosen somebody else also to speak, we will be hearing. So can that be somebody else is what I was asking.
Ma'am, Bhishma said, but he was, as you know, that he was like chained to the throne and he had to do everything which was like commanded.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. So I'm fine. I'm not competing for Bhishma. This was from one.
Might be Karna.
Yes, ma'am.
You feel Karna is the best.
Might be Karna.
Okay. How many of you all are voting for Karna? Anybody voting for Karna? I see Jeet. Jeet, about Karna, I'm going to talk tomorrow. Okay. Dipanj Jha, Shruti Priya, Diksha, Deshmukhi. Okay. So Karna is okay. So Karna is there. So I'm going to talk about Karna tomorrow, and there is one more character called Vikarna. Remind me, I'll tell you the story of Vikarna also tomorrow, because tomorrow we won't have time for presentation. It's a long chapter, so I can tell you a story.
Ma'am, Vikarna is a brother of Duryodhana, right, ma'am?
Wow, I've never heard of Vikarna. Yeah, Duryodhana's brother, third brother.
Ma'am, am I right, ma'am?
You're absolutely right. Perfect.
Vikarna was the only person who opposed the Chirharan of Draupadi, the only person.
Yes, very nice. Wow, I've got all stalwarts. Very, very nice. Arjuna Wilson had devotion and faith on God. Yes, Divya, that is so nice. Arjuna had both devotion and faith. Very beautiful. So he's perfect to be a devotee and deserves Krishna's words. Very beautiful. Before that, let's understand a little about Arjuna. Okay, so just like how we had doubts, I'm going to talk only about Arjuna. I'll come to Karna's story tomorrow. Rukmani also had this doubt. So after the war, Arjuna comes to Dwaraka to see Krishna. So Krishna goes right to the road and receives him, right? Road in the sense, whatever you call it, I call it a road. So he goes and calls and takes him to it. See, we have this guest room. We have all this. In fact, for us, half the time, we don't even have guest room. Our room, one of our rooms will become guest room when the guests come. But Krishna is a king of Dwaraka. So obviously he will have palaces for everyone. So there's a guest palace. So Arjuna comes, he takes him and he's there. He starts speaking to him. He speaks to him and he loses time, right? He's just not aware what's happening. He's so excited and he's talking and time is gone. What's happening now is correctly at that time, we have, it's very late and Rukmani is so upset. She's thinking, why? Okay, fine, spend 1 hour, spend 2 hours, typical vibes. So she goes right there to see what's happening. And when she goes there, they are sleeping. They fall in sleep. She's okay with that. But what she's not okay is, they've been like looking at each other and they fall off sleep. So Krishna's face is very close to Arjuna's leg. Arjuna is stretching the leg and it's almost here, right? And she's not able to digest that. She says, imagine literally Arjuna's legs are near the face of Krishna, right? She's not able to digest, but very unlike us now. Now, though, we will go and bang the door and tell, come on, what the hell, dash is happening? What's happening? All this, we'll yell. But no, she was patient enough to come back. But the next day, Krishna got all masala dosa. So she started asking, how can you do this? So Krishna says, okay, today I'll stay back. I'll not go. You go and see in the evening. She says, how can you tell this? How can I go to a guy's room? He says, no problem here. I'm only telling you. It's not like somebody else is telling. I'm telling you, I'm going to stay here, go. So she wants to, A, curiosity, and B, go, and she goes and she hears the noise. There is some conversation happening inside. Can anyone tell me who is talking to whom? Rukmini is obviously outside, but she's able to hear some voice. So can you guess who would be there in the room? Don't tell me Arjuna. Yes, Arjuna is there in the room, that we know, but who's there in the room? Whose voice is that?
Ma'am, could you again please write the question?
Rukmini is going to the room the next day, that day, night, the day after. Arjuna is there in the room and she hears a voice. It's somebody speaking. So can you guess who could be that? Because Krishna had promised he will not go. But she still hears someone speaking. So whose voice do you think is that? Subhadra. She will not have a problem with Subhadra's voice. And Subhadra, she will know, no? If Subhadra is there, she'll be more than happy. Her sister-in-law, Krishna's brother, sister. It's not Subhadra's voice, but it is a nice case. And when you tell Subhadra, I remember.
Sanjay could have speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sanjay could have speak.
Who?
Sanjay.
Oh, no, not Sanjay, not Radha.
Satyabhama?
No, not Satyabhama. So like that, she's also very confused. She in fact has a doubt if it was Krishna itself. I'm so happy all of you all trust Krishna so much that when Krishna said that I'm not going, you all believe. All my previous batches used to tell Krishna, it must be Krishna only. He promised and he's gone. So she sneaks inside the room and she sees Arjuna is sleeping and still she hears somebody talking. She's going here and she's looking and Arjuna's lip is sealed. And she searches here, she searches under the bed, everywhere, not as. Then she notices the voice keeps increasing gradually and she goes near Arjuna. And she goes near the leg of Arjuna and she can say, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna is only coming from the leg. His lip is closed, he's fast asleep. So Arjuna is so devoted to Krishna that even in his sleep, every nerve of him speaks and thinks only of Krishna. So why Krishna wanted her to go is for her to realize. She says that, oh my God, I think of Krishna. I think I am the biggest devotee. I think of Krishna. But look at Arjuna, that even in his sleep is constant. So for him, everything is pure. There is no difference between his face or hand or leg. So even if his leg is there next to Krishna, it is only talking, it's only the sound vibration of Krishna is coming. So it's so pure. So that's what she understood. So this is a nice story, which I enjoyed when I heard first time. So I always try and tell it on the first day or the second day, usually within the first 3 days. So this is the story of why Arjuna, because Arjuna, we will see that in the second chapter, but Arjuna is a devotee and a friend. Now I'm going to ask you a question. If you want to share your best thing, I asked you all, whom do you share? Many of you all said mother, right? So if you want to share your worst secret, whom will you share that with? Really bad thing you want to share, whom will you share? Whom will you share it with? Best friend. Best friend, no one. Acha, okay. You're like me, Vaishnavi. No, but if you have to share, you want to tell this to someone, whom would you share? This
Family.
spouse, okay. Abhi, are you very recently married or you're going to be married? You journal it, okay, Diksha. I always would want to journal it, but then I used to think, oh my God, that's the biggest risk. If anybody reads it, so I started writing it over and over on it to make sure that nobody can understand what I've written. Abhi, are you married or you're going to be married? Or the spouse is not there and you're just saying it? Either if my guess is right, Abhi should be very recently married, not married, acha, or not married. Acha, acha. Abhi, you tell this after 5 years of your marriage, then only I'll take it, okay? Hare Krishna. Best friend, or sometime I just like talking with Radha Rani, it feels right. Oh, very sweet. So, best friend. So, I want to ask you one question. We all will share with the best friends. We all need secret means we will tell, to whom we like, or we'll diarize because we consider that the closest or the safest. But Krishna alone should not choose the best friend. He should choose Karna or he should choose Bhishma, who is not his so-called best friend. So we are more concerned about someone who is close to us rather than someone who can be the best person in the world, right? So is Krishna. Now, I'm not telling whether Arjuna is best or not. That's something which we will understand tomorrow and as the chapters come. So the first thing which Krishna wanted to share is his best friend. Arjuna is his best friend, right? And of course, he's a devotee, Sakhi and devotee. Therefore, who or what can be better than that? So that is why Krishna tells to Arjuna. So Rukmini got convinced. She goes and tells sorry to Krishna, and that's why, the whole story is. Now, why not Karna? I will tell you all tomorrow. But why Arjuna? Are you all convinced? Why not Karna is a different story. That will take longer. So if you're all convinced and there are no more doubts, I'm going to dive in. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to dive in and give you this presentation of IQ and SQ. Yes. I want you all to start reading. This is Krishna, Divine Grace Prabhupada, Sriman. Yes, can you please read the first, one of you all read this, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can I try now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello. Okay. Hare Krishna. Human intellect is developed for advancement of learning in art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, economics, politics, etc. By culture of such knowledge, the human society can attain perfection of life. This perfection of life culminates in the realization of the Supreme Being, SB 1.5.2.22.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So, so everything, whatever we study, right? Science, philosophy, chemistry, all this is what we call as learning advancement. But the actual success is how do we understand Krishna, right? Spirituality is also very important. So we go hand in glove. Yes, Divya, the next one you can read, Hare Krishna. So section on, IQ, intelligent quotient, EQ, emotional quotient, and SQ, spiritual quotient. So IQ, many of you all would have heard of IQ test. Yes, Divya, this is for you. You can go ahead and read. And thank you. Where is
Yes, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
and so beautifully you read. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead.
Human intelligence, a general definition. One's overall capacity to think rationally, act purposefully, and to deal efficiently with one's environment.
Thank you so much. Well read, you too. So overall capacity, right? So this is what they're talking about human intelligence, right? This is how we measure human intelligence. So now I'm going to ask you, IQ test. What is common between a cow and a baby?
They don't have much intelligence, that what is right and wrong.
Anything else? Only one person is having IQ in this group.
Both are innocent.
Both are innocent, okay. Very technical, some jokes. Very nice, but that was a nice answer. Both are innocent. Okay. The difference, you tell me. What is the difference then You told me something in common. So what's the difference? Easy part was the common. The easy part was the similarity. So what's the difference? Hare, some WhatsApp messages keep coming. Let me check.
And the baby is human being and the cow is animal.
Aha, very nice. Priyadarshini is close. Eating habits. Yes. So let's see the answer. The difference between both are a cow drinks water and makes milk, whereas a baby drinks milk and makes water. It's supposed to be a joke. Please laugh. Yeah. So this is what it is. So how can you drop a raw egg on a concrete floor without cracking it? These are all IQ questions. How can you drop?
And it cannot crack the floor.
Ah, lovely. You know the answer already, no? You already know it, no? Okay, now give me the, what is the name of the trap of the mouse with 3 letters?
Cat.
Cat. Yeah. See, now IQ is developing. Perfect cure for the dandruff. Oh, I gave the answer. Anyone knows a perfect cure?
Baldness. Being bald.
Clean bald only, Mataji. Right? So basically, 50% of the population, the IQ is very less, right? So you can see all of them where the IQ is. It's below level. Now I'm going to go with respect to you all. I assume that all of you all will be at least 12th grade to college, minimum, right? That means you're 50% of them. So at least your IQ range is between 100 to 100 and 111. Right, and this will be, and the kind of employment you are all likely to get will either be a police officer, or in sales job. These are the kind of things. So, so basically, at least 1 out of 2 you people have been successful. So, which means that anyone who's made it till 12th or college is having a high IQ. And somebody, if you're going into college to master's degree, it's only 15%. Right, they become a manager, they become a teacher or an accountant, and the IQ levels are far above. It's between 111 to 120. So everyone can clap your hand and tell, oh, wow, I have an IQ of above 100. So let's go to emotional quotient, right? So can you see this? EQ is an array of skills that influences one's ability to succeed in coping up with the environment. There is so much of pressure. Now, I can tell you all those who come here are having a high EQ. And I can assure that you have the high EQ if all of you retain yourself till 18 days. You know why? Not because you have a problem, but the problem is you will have a lot of pressure in the next 18 days. Not from me, but from your school. You'll see your school will have a problem, your parents will have a problem, your friends will want you to party. So your emotional quotient now, if it is really strong, I can tell you straight away are those whom I will meet you all in the same classroom on the 18th day. Why? Because you all have already learned how to deal with it. So in the mid-19, right, many neuroscientists and psychologists show that EQ is very important, just as how IQ are. So can you see his face? Oh my God, such a horrible thing. You don't even feel like seeing, right? But our faces are like this. So whatever we see is like the tip of iceberg. EQ works generally under the face. It's very subtle, right? That is very important for a doctor. IQ you can measure. EQ very difficult, though they have psychometric tests and all. So what happens generally with people with this kind of a emotional quotient, right? Which is low. They become aggressive, demanding, egoistic, bossy. They easily get distracted. They are glibby. They are selfish, poor listeners, impulsive, resistant to change, passive, slow, stubborn, critical, pinky, aggressive, obsessive, ambitious, strong-willed. Yeah. So basically low ISR, right? Now high, one of you all can read on the right side because low not so important, right? Side talks about high EQ. If you have a high emotional quotient, how do they turn out to be? Can you read this on the right hand side?
Yes, ma'am. Assertive, ambitious, driving, strong-willed, decisive, warm, enthusiastic, sociable, charming, persuasive, patient, stable, predictable, good listener, consistent, good listener, detailed, careful, meticulous, systematic, and last is neat.
Thank you so much. So very clearly you can know that when you have a high EQ, this is what it is. So emotional quotient, it is responsible for 58% of the job circles. And 90% of top performers have a high EQ and their average salary is over $29,000. It increases, so it shows improved decision making, increased personality well-being, reduced staff turnover, decreased stress, and increased leadership, right? So every good quality is there. With a positive optimistic attitude, a person with an IQ of 100 will earn more success than a negative pessimistic guy, even with a higher IQ, right? So IQ is important, but if you're optimistic, even with a lower IQ, you'll be more successful than this. This is why you would come across many of them who say that I have in our class, you will notice that this fellow is so intelligent, but unfortunately, he is not got so much. I'm not telling intelligent people don't get good job. They do, but there will still be a set of people who are very intelligent, who would have got first rank, but would have been lower. But some fellow would be very average in school, but he would be a stalwart, right? He would be having 3 houses in 30 years and he would be financially very settled. How? Because his EQ will be very high, tolerance limits too. So Lord Macaulay, in his speech of Feb in the British Parliament, said, I've traveled across the length and breadth of India and I have not seen one person who's a beggar or who's a thief. Okay, now this is not shocking. It is very shocking, no, because this is 1835. Then what they did, we will see. Yes, please go ahead and read. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Divya, you don't have to raise your hand. Go ahead and read.
Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such caliber, that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage.
So he says that I cannot see in the country such high moral values, people of such caliber, that I do not think we would ever conquer this country. So unless we break, so his strategy is we have to break their spiritual and cultural heritage. Culture, though, let's break. Please go ahead and read this.
Therefore, I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture, for if the Indians think that all the that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native self-culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation.
So this is all their concepts, right? So that's how they broke us. Solve the ethical dilemmas. So very nice. I will just take another 5-6 minutes. Sorry, normally I try and finish at 4, but sometimes it steps out. So this is, I'm not going to use the name and I'm not going to tell you the place, but this is somebody in the, who's almost, they've almost literally put her in a coffin. She's not dead, but they are talking and somebody is gossiping, right? How long we have to wait? We call it mercy killing, and I leave it for you all to debate whether it's right or wrong, but this is what will happen. Now you can see this, right? You can see the justice, whether hanging is right or not, killing somebody. Now you can see all this, right? These kind of different, especially here. So we use these guinea pigs for medicine to check. Is it right? Who gave us the right to? Now population is increasing is what we feel. I'm not getting into the politics, not my cup of tea. So I'm here. So can you see this picture? So beautiful, right? But whether there's also a child which is so painful. So if you see her in her various times, how aging has caught up. Now you see drinking, you see women also drinking when they are pregnant. Cards, gambling. Today what has happened, this connection is gone, right? Both of them, father and son, sit, but they think of somebody else. The two sons and father keep fighting. They don't talk for each other, right? You see really in families, they are under the same roof, but they don't get to talk or they fight. Further progression in understanding of human intelligence led to the third question. What is it? How do you manage all this spiritual caution? So now scientists contend that the full picture of the human intelligence can be completed with just a discussion of our spiritual intelligence, or SQ for short, right? So how? They say, what is SQ? It's our ultimate intelligence. This is by science, this is not mine. Only human beings, SQ allows human beings to be creative, to seek answers for fundamental questions. Many times, what am I doing? How did I come from? All this only we can think. So SQ, without our knowledge, this has happened, right? Without our knowledge, right? We say that the body is there, but we say he's no more. What do you mean by he's no more? Right? He is departed, he's left. Where is he left? The body is there, right? So then who is left? Right? So all this starts as
The soul.
exactly.
Soul.
Exactly. It's a soul. This video I'll show you at the end because sometimes we might have copyright issues. So SQ. So what is this SQ is? So you can see, this one I'm going to explain this to you. So there are various platforms. So the lowest platform is bodily platform. I'll eat, I will sleep. That's it. Which we are going to discuss in length in Bhagavad Gita also. The next level is your sensual platform. So this is like your children who don't bother, right? 8th standard, whether I pass or not, I will anyway get a job. Yeah, don't bother. Sensual platform is, oh no, I have to, is it okay? Should I think of studies? And mental platform is, let me take the book and study. Intellectual platform is smart study, right? And spiritual platform gives us eternal bliss. Don't worry, we will repeat that again. So I know I'm like taking you fast, right? The video, as I said, I'm going to show you now. So let me just stop the recording. So if you primarily see, like this is the bodily platform, right? Everybody does it. We also sleep, animals also sleep. So what's the difference?
Ma'am, you are not audible. Can't hear anything.
Oh, say I just
even
was
not
muted.
able to listen.
Yeah, I had
no.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Even the video was not clear. I was not able to listen the whole video.
Okay, Krishna. So typical eating of the things, what is the difference, right? We may have a fork and a knife, but end of the day, we keep doing sleeping. What's the difference between this and the animal? So, relationships, right? Sexual relationships, that's the only focus, even for the animals. Now war, even they are in war, right? They keep fighting. So human being has a higher intelligence, a power of discrimination, and he can inquire about the cause of suffering. That's the difference. A dog or an animal will not know. Today it's very rainy. Animals go and they hide. But we will know, okay, there's some reason, right? Now, this is a place, right? If it's a human being, he'll be able to sense there is danger. But this particular sheep is going to be given bali, right? Bakra. But it is just so excited that it's got some leaves and food. So it doesn't even realize that it is going to be killed. This is a funny video, which I told I will show you. Again, I'll show it to you at the end. So in the early 20th century, a lot of things were analyzed about the body. And finally, they said, whatever items are there in the body, these are the items. It's mainly the worth of that is 210 rupees, right? The chemicals with which a body is made is that. But suppose if there is an accident, do you say the cost of the car will be, let's say 10 lakh and the person dies? What do you feel more bad about? Is the life or is it the body, the car? Because the body costs 210 rupees, but the car costs 10 lakhs. What do you feel bad? Life. Thank you so much. Life, right? So that is important because that is not what we think is a value, right? There's much more value in it. So life, why it becomes valuable is because of the presence of the consciousness, right? So with this, we can pause this video. I will play another video again tomorrow. And so we'll end the session here. Is there any doubts you have specifically about Bhagavad Gita? Otherwise, my only request is every day we chant. Our idea is to chant at least one round, right? In Mala, I was showing like 108 times, which is very difficult to start with. So every day we will multiply with 6. Today is the first day and we will chant 6 times. Tomorrow, second day, we will chant 12 times. Like that on the last day, we will reach 108. Are you fine with me? So can all of you all chant with me? First day I will chant. From tomorrow onwards, you all can take turns and you can chant, right? So you can unmute yourself. I'm going to stop the video. Tell me one time Hare Krishna and then I will stop the video. Hare Krishna loud and then we'll start chanting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for coming. I apologize if there was a connectivity issue. And thank you so much. Yeah, I had a wonderful time. Thank you so much, Divya. Had a wonderful time. Hare Krishna.
Hello. Hare Krishna.
Yes,
our class will start at 3 p.m. right now?
Yes, 3 p.m. today. Now it's 4 o'clock. Yes, 3 to 4. Usually by 4 I will.
No, we'll start. Okay, 3 to 4. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes. Especially when I tell a story. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So we'll chant.